A man was denied bond after shooting and killing a woman in downtown Dallas who was visiting from Houston. I reported on this story a couple of weeks ago during my live stream. Let's check it out.
The man charged for killing a Houston area real estate agent in downtown Dallas last month was in court today hoping to get his $500,000 bond reduced.
Fox Sports' Alex Boyer was in court today and has more on the judge's decision and joins us live. Alex.
Hey guys, I sat in on that hearing and it lasted nearly 2 hours. You know, the defense was trying to get that $500,000 bond reduced, calling it excessive for a non-capital murder case. After hearing all of the evidence, the judge ultimately upheld it. Surveillance video played inside a Dallas County courtroom Wednesday shows how a deadly shootout on the streets of downtown Dallas unfolded back on April 5th. It was presented by the prosecution as part of a bond reduction hearing for murder suspect 34-year-old Kendrick Finch.
He was the first one to step out with a gun.
That's prosecutor Jason Hermes referring to Finch. In the video, you see 28-year-old Ashley Long and her friend 36-year-old William Kistler.
All right, this is the guy that she was with when this happened, and I feel like this guy was acting belligerent at this moment. I'm not saying that this is the actions from him should have led to a shooting, but he was acting a bit foolish throughout the night. Let's keep going.
Walking on Main Street as a Mercedes drives by, Kistler brushes the car with his hand. The Mercedes stops. Almost immediately, Kistler can be seen trying to retrieve a handgun out of Long's purse when Finch steps out of the car.
And I'll play, in a little bit, I'll play the moment where what led to him walking up and touching the car for whatever reason.
With a gun in his hand. The lead homicide detective was the state's only witness.
I can tell you Mr. Finch's gun was pointed in Mr. Kistler and Miss Long's direction, and she had started to fall prior to what appears to be Mr. Kistler directing his gun at Mr. Finch. So to go out on an assumption, I would assume that Mr. Finch fired first.
The defense asked for the hearing trying to get Finch's $500,000 bond reduced. Josh Healy claims the video shows Finch fired in self-defense.
He's fighting around trying to get that gun and finally gets it, goes like this towards my client. And when he takes those steps towards my client has every right under the law to defend himself.
Reduced. Josh Healy claims the video shows Finch fired in self-defense.
He's fighting around trying to get that gun and finally gets it, goes like this towards my client. And when he takes those steps towards my client has every right under the law to defend himself.
Long, a realtor visiting from southeast Texas, was shot twice and later died. Kistler was hit once and survived. In the video, you see him try to move her to the sidewalk. The prosecution argued Finch is a risk to the community and asked for the bond to be upheld.
He fired that gun at least 8 times in a crowded residential commercial street with cars and people walking all around.
The judge, having heard all the evidence, ultimately agreed.
The writ is denied. The bond remains at $500,000.
I can tell you that families from both sides packed that courtroom today. They declined to speak to us after the hearing. Meanwhile, I can tell you that Finch remains here in the Dallas County Jail on that $500,000 bond.
I mean, this should have never happened. For one, I mean, there's no reason to get out and shoot somebody or start firing a weapon because somebody brushed the side of the vehicle that you're in. That's just stupid right there in itself. That should never happen. But I do want to talk about this guy that she was with. I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. This is about a minute long, maybe a minute and a half. Get an idea of what led up to this situation. As you can see, he's arguing with this person here across the street a few seconds before that. And there he goes, walking across the street. Seems like the woman that he's with is trying to defuse whatever happened. You can see him throwing his hands up, acting belligerent, and this is when he crosses the street. He's about to in a second. He just, I don't know. You know, I've seen guys like this before. You know, they're out at night drinking, you know, acting foolishness. They're loud, belligerent, acting foolish. They're belligerent. And this is where the car.
I'm going to pause in publication at 12.
There you go.
Elapsed. At this,
Let's fast forward a little bit.
Can you tell the judge what the importance of this white car is?
That's the car that's occupied by the defendant, Mr. Finch, in the passenger seat.
And there's a driver in that car.
Yes, sir.
Do you know if there's anyone else, or is it still unknown if there's any other persons inside that car?
I don't have any idea, no, sir.
At least occupied twice now.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
All right, the car, I've now paused publication.
I don't know. I just don't see the point in doing that.
I don't have any idea, no, sir.
At least occupied twice now.
Yes, sir.
I mean, look, I feel like this guy was just looking for a fight. He was maybe had a few too many. He got into a verbal altercation with somebody at this place and went across the street. The woman he was with, who tragically passed away in this situation, was trying to defuse the situation. Was trying to defuse it. She did have his firearm inside of her purse. You know, you really shouldn't be bringing firearms to places that sell 51% or more alcohol. Their revenue is 51% or more. So I don't know exactly what establishment he was in, but you know, you may want to carry it for your protection, which is fine. I do the same thing. I carry a firearm for protection, but I just feel like this guy was acting like a fool that night, and his actions may have led to that. I'm not justifying being shot. I'm not justifying getting out of the car and shooting a gun 8 times. There's no need for that. The guy could have just kept driving. And this whole situation could have been avoided. But this is why I don't mess with people's property. This is why I don't run my mouth towards people or at people, because I don't know what the other person is thinking, what they're going to do. To me, it's for my own safety and for people around me, because I'm not the baddest man on the planet. There's always somebody who's going to be a little crazier, a little more hardcore, more tough than you are. So am I going to brush my hand on the side of a Mercedes-Benz driving by? No, I don't care if they get close to me or not. I'm not going to tap on somebody's car. I don't even like blowing my hornets at people, because people have gotten so crazy nowadays. They're willing to fire their gun for just about anything, it seems like. I've seen stories like this far too often, or situations like that where somebody they get into a little bit of road rage, they flip somebody off, or they cut somebody off, and somebody gets shot. It doesn't end well. Somebody dies. So this is exactly why I keep my hands to myself and try to avoid these situations as much as possible. I don't go out at night. I don't hang out at bars or anything like that, because things get crazy. They get out of hand. So I don't know. I just want to share that with you. This whole thing could have been avoided. She could still be alive. This man just seems like he maybe had too many to drink, acting belligerent, and he crossed somebody who is crazy as well, and they got into a shootout in the middle of the street. Just unnecessary nonsense. But I'm going to leave that right there. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.